Oh, so you're Justin, I'm Lita, and then you're going to say
And then
we're
you
the
say,
Lemuses?
you're Lita, and we're the Lemus.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You say it clearer.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
Same. All right. I'm Justin.
And I'm Lita, and we are the Lemuses.
When we started coming to the Met, it was, I call it normal drinking, weekends, but I was aware of it in denial. But it was wake up, have to have a drink, whether I was going to church or work. So my Sundays looked like waking up, having a drink, maybe having a second one before, if nobody was going to know, before we got to church. But it was really just counting the minutes till church was over, because I knew we were going to go to lunch after and I could have a margarita.
During that time, that was just a norm for us. In the background, yes, we were happy, but still having a lot of struggles within our marriage. So it was a lot of ups and downs.
So my drinking really accelerated around 2020, 2021. Within like a month period, I lost my job. At the time, I was really good about masking it, where when she got home with the kids, I meet them at the door, try to have dinner ready. Basically, it was all distraction,
Mm-hmm.
And maybe after dinner, I'd say, have a bottle of champagne, or let's have some beers, because I'd already been drinking. And it was like, I just wanted to keep going, and almost was trying to get her to do it to validate, what I've been doing all day.
It was really bad for a good year and a half, 2 years, to the point where I was so ready to walk out the door of our marriage.
There was a couple months where I had to look in the mirror and accept that I was going to lose everything, that my wife and kids were not going to be there, and there was no one to blame but myself. She gave me every opportunity to fix it. You talk about second and third chances. She gave me as many as you can write down on a piece of paper. She planned a trip to Austin with our kids, and this nice hotel and everything, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this sober. And stopped drinking, I think the day before we left. Got there and immediately started not feeling good. At the time, didn't realize it was withdrawals. And in the morning, somehow pulled it together so we could all go to the swimming pool as a family. And the last thing I remember is holding my son's hand, who was 2 at the time, and then waking up to paramedics and not knowing where the kids were, because I didn't know at the time that I had collapsed on top of him. It was unconscious, and she had to pull him out from underneath me. And then I had a seizure. Was told that I was turning blue and foaming. She was screaming so loud that the neighbors in the room next to us came over to help and took the kids.
I really thought in that moment that was like the worst moment of my life, of our lives. It was going to change everything. And I was right. It was going to change everything. But I didn't know it was going to change it the way that it changed it.
She already had somewhere for me, and she drove me there, dropped me off. Unbeknownst to me, gave the counselor at the treatment center a letter for every day I would be in there. So every day I was in there, I had a letter from her. Every day I called, she answered. She told me she had been praying for this for a long time. I didn't know that God was working through her to rescue me out of the valley that I was in at the time.
The first night that we went to Regen was the very first graduation ceremony for your first set of graduates for Regen. So that was really cool to get to see everybody graduate. They got to share their testimony. One of the women talked about being free from control. And I felt instantly convicted because I have some major control issues and perfectionism issues. He was speaking to me through the testimonies that we were hearing. So I was like, okay, you want me to be here? I'm going to be here. I'm going to be obedient to what you're asking me to do. I had an online community of women, but I was really craving an in-person community of women, like people that I can hug and talk with and to meet up with, and just to have that, in-person support. It makes a world of difference.
When she agreed to not only go to Regen with me, but to do it for herself, it lit a fire under me. Before you know it, in this last year and a half, you know, I've built this community of men I can call friends, good friends, brothers. We were at Brian's house, and it was a smaller group. I think there might have only been him, myself, and Chris. And I was talking about when she got baptized in our backyard a few years back, and how she had prayed for me. She finally told me, you know, I prayed for you every day to be surrounded by godly people, and she just felt her prayers were being answered. And I was sharing this with them, and with Brian or Chris made the comment to me, do you think your wife is trying to show you the path you're supposed to go down? And I was like, what? And he said, do you want to give your life to Christ? Mm-hmm. They explained it to me, and right there on the spot, I said, I'm in, sign me up. And I think a month later, I got baptized here at the Met.
That was all God. Like, I didn't do anything, right? Like, I prayed for him, but like, I never forced him to do anything. Whenever he did it, I knew it was like with a pure heart, his choice. And it was just so awesome just to be able to be a part of that and to see that, like, everything just, that was like a prayer being answered. And then, like, in times that we've been in worship and in church and he's lifting his hands or he's like introducing a new worship song to me or whatever, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's another prayer being answered. And more than anything that I have ever wanted to, like, leave our kids, not to leave them things, but a legacy of faith. Like, can we show them what it looks like to have a relationship with God? Can we show them what it looks like to, like, chase God together? Can we show them what it looks like to be in a community of, you know, of people that also love God and are chasing him? And it's just been really cool to see where we were then to where we are now.